Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's live. The most interesting IPO. Well, what's an IPO? It's an initial public offering. And the initial public offering we are making reference to tonight is Reddit. Some of you might know Reddit, which the infamous Wall Street Bets, it's their home. And we know what Wall Street Bets were effectively responsible for. You know, the GameStop saga. There's actually a film on that right now, which is very interesting. That madness where they just kept on pumping this stock and it just wouldn't stop, even grabbing the attention of all these hedge fund managers. Unbelievable time in the marketplace. But it just goes to show the power of people uniting together. Similar to cryptocurrency, when everyone joins together in support of the Bitcoin. In tonight's live stream, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping that I'm going to bring you into the world of stocks where you're able to understand and know what to look for when we do have an IPO, okay? No different to an ETF like Bitcoin. I'm going to be talking about that as well. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin taking a little bit of a tumble to the downside, but don't lose your minds. It's all good. It's healthy. The market has to go from one spot to the next to understand who's there, prepared to buy, prepared to sell. We've had some news come out today. Not really caught the attention of anything. Euro goes up, euro comes down. It's been a bit of a tricky day today. I took some trades on the S&P today. Very, very tricky. They just kept on gunning for that all-time high, and I was running shorts. Eventually, I caught the short in the end. I'll show you what I mean by that. And I'm also going to be explaining to you how understanding your asset is going to help you understand how likely it's going to move from one point to the next based on the way the bid and the ask are operating. So I'm going to be talking you through that as well this evening. I think I need to go to the charts. Why did I just pause then? Wow. Good evening, guys. Yeah, this is, if you are new to the channel, I've lost my glasses as well. I've got to put these on. These come with my watch. I don't know if you guys know about the Whoop, okay? It only blocks out only 8% of the blue light. These glasses actually give me a headache anyways. So, let's get with the flavor, ladies and gentlemen, and talk about this new IPO. Here we go. Reddit. Reddit. You know, when you're sat on the toilet, well, just stick with me. And you type into Google how or what are the health benefits of coconuts, or how do I, give me the best psychological traps, just anything that you would ask yourself when you're on the toilet, okay, when you're trying to kill time. You're usually led to a Reddit, okay? You're led to Reddit, which is a platform. It's a forum, and this is where people conversate. Back in the day, it's where it was all about, forums. And it's still maintaining that sort of behavior, which is happy days. But a group of guys, which are known as Wall Street Bets, they all joined together and they created the madness of what happened with AMC or GameStop. So if you remember not so long ago, it was quite a while ago, Wall Street Bets, okay, is a subreddit where participants discuss stock and option trading. So it's a subreddit inside of Reddit, okay? And it has become notable for its colorful and profane jargon, aggressive trading strategies, and for playing a major role in the GameStop short squeeze that caused losses for some US firms and short sellers in a few days in early 2021. You got to understand, during this time of Wall Street Bets, when the GameStop saga was going, you couldn't dismiss not buying this stock. And there were people, I remember I was talking to people from the channel, and they were even talking about buying GameStop, and they were getting involved in it. And this was sucking in people because this stock would not stop moving up. It just never stopped. Anyway, it led to quite a chaotic thing. And that's what Wall Street Bets was famous for. Now, with regards to this IPO, you'd think that the home that Wall Street Bets has come from, they would welcome something like this. Okay? Check this out. These guys in Wall Street Bets, now you look at their Discord, there's over 500,000 people in there, all right? With average around 80,000 users online in any instance. So this is a big community, man, okay? And the guys inside of this subreddit, it's like they're not happy with this. They are really not happy with it. Let me just bring you into some of the comments that these guys are saying. Here we go. Can't wait to short this cesspool after the initial pump. Okay? Smart people don't buy shares of a company that's never made any money. We know what that says right there. This is a scheme to cash in and get out by the owners. Stay away. Millions of young and new investors are about to learn a valuable lesson. Even so, a few bold investors still appear willing to take the bet despite unfavorable odds. You've got some guys saying Tesla had a negative earnings per share for the first decade of its existence. Amazon barely did for its first 7 years. That's what usually happens. When a company is getting listed on the stock market, they are seeking liquidity, all right? And from my understanding, the IPO initially has raised them around $794 million. Well, they're going to be using that capital to put it into Reddit in principle, okay? And see how they can evolve from that, right? All you'd need Reddit to do now is just to get involved in the blockchain. That would be happy days, wouldn't it? And then we've got Wall Street Bets with cryptocurrency. I mean, I don't even know if I want to be mentioning that. But a gentleman says he's picked up 5K's worth for, figuring he'd be getting wrecked. But he's got to admit, seeing Wall Street Bets so bearish or pessimistic has him feeling like this is going to be a nice little payday. So you've got to understand the impact that Wall Street Bets can have on a stock. And this is why this is going to bring a lot of chaos, okay? This is, in my opinion, and you let me know in the comment section, right? This is going to be fund managers sticking it to Wall Street Bets, because that was a very sour time for a lot of fund managers, right? This could be the one time where they say, you know what? You can short it all you want. We're just going to keep on buying it and buying it and buying it because our pockets are going to be deeper than yours. Can you imagine if that actually starts to happen and the Reddit share price just doesn't bloody stop going up? And Wall Street's Bets are just trying to short the hell out of it, okay? I mean, that will be another amazing time or another amazing thing to witness, okay? Now, let's just go and have a look at its share price for the guys who want to get involved in something like this and what you really need to be looking out for, okay? So look, there's not that much data here. Priced at $50.44 a share. And it's currently got around about a market cap of about 8 billion. So, it's starting off really, really good, okay? Now, the first thing that you've got to understand is what category does Reddit fall into, okay? Well, it's in the internet content sector. Who else is part of that gang? Meta. Well, they've got a very nice market cap, haven't they? Just shy of $1 trillion. So in other words, when this company is pumping, you can only assume that money's going to be going into Reddit. Now, something that you've got to be paying close attention to is which fund, or should I say how many funds are going to be getting involved in this stock. So if we go over to this right here, you can see that there aren't any fund owners coming in and buying this stock. They will be buying this stock one way or another. It's the whole point with this successful IPO, in my opinion. It's done very well for its IPO. If we actually look at the price it traded at, opened at $34 and it's now ended up at $50. I mean, come on, man, that's awesome. Naturally, there's going to be a pump and there's going to be a pullback. No different to what happened with Bitcoin in the ETF. No different to what happened with Ethereum and the ETF when that got released. Talking about the synthetic one, not the spot. Okay? So this is one of those stocks that I strongly suggest that we pay attention to because it's all going to be tied to social media. What's Wall Street Bets going to be saying about it? What could they be starting? Now, listen, this is information, all right? It's not no ordinary IPO right now, ladies and gentlemen. The same guys that nearly broke the bank in regards to the GameStop saga are opposing this, saying that the company doesn't make money, it's pointless, they're just going to dump on everyone. So now you've got mutiny on the bounty, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this performs. So I'm going to be checking in on this Reddit story. All right, keeping an eye out on it. New IPOs usually mean that they're going to start pulling back ever so slightly, and then they'll start to pick up steam when word gets out. Fund managers start adding it to their portfolios. But for a long-term play, it's part of the, Meta platforms is in the same sector. So usual consensus is if Meta's doing well, so will this, because it's going to be part of a portfolio. People are going to want to add to it. They're going to want to put it in their portfolio. If they've got stocks in Meta, they own Amazon, they own Google, naturally Reddit is going to be the next thing that they're going to want to put inside of that. And granted, this is brand new and it's only $50. There's going to be participants, in my opinion, that are going to be picking this stuff up. Okay? It's no different to cryptocurrency. When you get metaverse coins coming out, you're naturally going to be looking for coins that are in the metaverse that are they doing the same thing? What's their difference? What's the benefit of this coin? Should I get involved in it? Well, the last type of coin that was involved in this sort of environment, it did X. So, it's the same thing with stocks, all right? But we've got more legitimacy when it comes to the stock market. There's governance behind it all. How they operate is a different story, and people's opinions of it fundamentally are irrelevant. Why? Because once you pass the test and you get listed and you have a successful IPO, you're going to grab attention from the rest of all the players around Wall Street. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this stuff. Just a quick question. How many of you are going to buy this? Because I am. I want to be part of this. I'm getting involved in this. And the only reason I'm getting involved in it is purely because I want to see how Wall Street Bets plays this move. Because they can really bring the flavor. When they join together, they really can do damage. So pick up a couple of, 100 shares maybe. See how we go with it. Start it off small and then go. And then I'll let you know if I get wrecked because of Wall Street Bets. Yeah, cheers, bro. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, back to the topic at hand in cryptocurrency. This is the face of crypto. When you get involved in cryptocurrency and you're like, cryptocurrency, where to buy Bitcoin, right? They might see this article and they might see this woman's face. And they'll read, fast food worker who helped a fugitive launder stolen Bitcoin billions. Jeez, man. Isn't this crazy? Like, how and why so much crypto moving to government? You had the two heists by the United States, all right? So they're now sitting around about 100,000 Bitcoin. Okay, cool. All right? Now you've got the UK, okay? People in crypto, you'd think they had a brain. You think like they're in decentralization, keeping it quiet, don't want anybody to know. Why? This is what's going to cause Bitcoin's price to continue to move up because it all keeps on getting taken by governments and they're just going to sit and hold it. Well, that's what we are seeing. Like, let's be honest now. We know that the government is holding it. Here you go. There are your balances down here. Where is it? US government down here. It should say US government, FBI hack, Bitfinex hack recovery. 94,000 right there. And then the Silk Road individual FBI confiscated funds was 69,000 Bitcoin. Awesome. That could be Bitcoin that we could be buying, ladies and gentlemen. Right? And again, BlackRock, in my opinion, they're going to get first dibs on that. Straight up, I believe. And tell me if you think I'm wrong. I've been reading your comments from the last video. Tell me that BlackRock wouldn't be negotiating a discount on that Bitcoin. I mean, come on, man. Come on, you can't assume that they wouldn't go for it. We don't live in a day and age where everything is just clear and cut. No chance. My personal favorite color is gray. So, yeah, that's my opinion right there. Moving on to price action. Have you all had a good day today trading? Come on, where you guys at? Where are your brains at? Tino, I will dump my shares on you, my exit liquidity. Well, you know what? It's a stab, you know? I don't care. I just want to play that. I want to play the Reddit stock because it's going to start something. You're going to see headlines. People are waiting for it to happen, you know? If only we had something like that in cryptocurrency, you know? If no one's getting ripped off, all right? Like, that's the whole point of what cryptocurrency is about, you know? It's to come away from banks. Now crypto's in bed with them, you know? Anyways. Okay, then. So, looking at you guys. Well done, Pozo. Greetings from Cyprus. Yes, okay, cool. Yeah, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to just give you the story on the bids and the asks, okay? Because I think it's going to serve you in helping you understand how to translate information like this in relation to the vector candles, okay? But it is so important that you're sticking to your asset, all right? You've got to know how your asset moves, okay? Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. So I was in a short on the S&P, right? I was waiting for something to happen, right? And I was contemplating adding to this short. So if you can see up here, let me just move this and expand it out to make life easier. All right, and so you guys see that, yeah? So when you're trading the S&P, especially on the CME or the futures markets, what you've got to understand is there is this continuous ebb and flow with regards to the bids and the offers. Price will go up, price will go down. When you see an aggressive hit on the offers, that means price is moving up. It usually can lead to price coming back down again, all right? And this is something that always happens on the S&P. Now, it's the 30-second time frame. And I was paying attention to these green vector candles because what had happened here is, can you see here, these red vectors, right? These red vector candles gave me the idea that the bids were aggressively hit. Now, what I'm talking about right now is in Bitcoin, it's in Ethereum, XRP, the stable coin. It's in altcoins, it's in the indices, Forex, you name it, because fundamentally, this is how they move, okay? So you see the red vector candles, we understand that to be bidding. So the bids have been hit, so people are buying passively, people are aggressively selling, then it comes to a stopping volume candle right there, okay? Price reverses. When it reverses, it moves all the way back up and creates this green vector candle. Now, I always say, whenever you see a green vector candle appearing but not going anywhere, it could be sinister in the sense where it might not actually follow through and it could look to pull back. That's exactly what had happened in this instance right here, all right? I am talking hindsight, but you're going to see what I'm going to do in a second, all right? So you've got this move to the upside, right? It then reacts and drops back down and creates the same behavior that you see over here on the left, and it comes into play over here. So they had bidded price down aggressively again, and then they reversed it and gave us this green vector candle again. Excuse me. Notice that in this area, the green vector candle comes into play but never goes anywhere. Look, this one over here tried to get above the 200 EMA on the 30-second time frame, but then it rolled over. All right. Looking at this chart right here, ladies and gentlemen, could you, in the chat right now, can you tell me what time frame this is? Even though I've told you what it is, okay? Can you tell what time frame that is? You can't. It could be a 15-second, it could be a 1 hour time frame, it could be a 5-minute time frame. You don't even know, it could be the S&P. What I'm trying to say is this sort of structure happens on all time frames. So that means that you have to give the time frame a chance to play it out. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is you will always see a green vector candle appearing in one instance. That doesn't go anywhere, and it's on the 1 hour time frame. You then say to yourself, hold on a second. I've seen this before. It's pumped up, and then it always pulls back down. And there are a couple of examples like this in Bitcoin, okay? Straight after this play, ladies and gentlemen, we saw the same thing happen again, okay? And I projected that price would come back down towards this open right here, okay? On what the start of the Asians, the daily candle, okay? And that's midnight right there, okay? I projected that price would come back down towards this point, and this was justifying me holding my short, okay? So let's take it back. We've got the red vector candles to the left, marking prices lower. The green vector candle coming into play, but not following through. That's weakness. The offers have been triggered, and there was too many people buying at that point. Perfect time to trap them. Market maker building the shorts at the highest possible point in the range. He does it again, marks it lower, builds his longs, realizes a return on his longs. Look left. You see them recovering the vector candle right there. Green vector candle comes into play yet again. Can't get above the 200 EMA. The logic suggests that price was going to come down and drop. And that initially led to the following. There's price. It came down to the midnight point. Okay? If you look closely, green vector candle coming into play, but not going anywhere. Marks up, comes straight back down. All right? These are plays that you can find all the time with the hybrid system. It comes with practice. It's not no magical thing. No, it's practice. When you can recognize something, you're stood in the middle of traffic, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Say you're in the middle of a crossroads and you're seeing people walking up and down, crossing over left, right, and center, okay? And everyone just looks normal. All of a sudden, you see a dude that's walking on his hands. And you're like, what on earth is that? Oh, I've just recognized that something is out of the norm. I'm going to be mindful of that. You go about your day, you come back and you stand exactly in the same spot again. People are crossing over on this road. You see the same dude again crossing the road with his hands. So now you've come to understand that you're recognizing that this dude always happens to turn up at a specific point in time or around a specific time, and he's walking across the road with his hands. What are you then going to be thinking? Well, where's he going to go to next? Well, I better sit and watch him. I better pay attention to see what he does. So you sit back, you get yourself a bit of a coffee, you're sitting back and you're watching him. He's walking across and he goes to the left and you're like, okay, he went over there. You come back the next day, you see him doing it again, and then he's going to the right. And then you keep on going back to this crossroads and you keep on seeing this dude walking on his hands at specific times, different days, but he's nonetheless walking on his hands. That is recognizing behavior. No different to this. You got vector candles coming into play. Where did we come from? Well, S&P's been moving up, man. We're going to be looking for a little bit of a correction and a pullback. So we then get the idea that, yeah, the guy's going to cross the road. One way or another, he's going to either go round people, up, below. He's going to skip against someone else, miss the dog, but he's going to get to the other side. That's exactly how the stock market, that's exactly how it behaves in crypto. It's exactly what it does in the indices, Forex, you name it. Your goal as traders is to try and recognize repetitive behavior by finding something. And the only way you can do that is if you systemize and objectively think about trading. If I see this happen, there's a good chance that this could happen. Think in probabilities and then say, well, I've seen this happen before. Let me put a little bet to test the idea. And then you get in this instance and you see it just does it. It's about finding the right time. And that's what practice comes into it. Okay? So this is what I traded this logic. Okay? And where is it? Here we are. So this is, it was very tricky to trade it today. I'll be straight with you all. Okay. It was tricky. We ended up finishing net 9,000, 366. Yeah, about $9,100 for today on our funded accounts. We nearly tapped our 100K. That was since the 7th of March till now. Okay, we nearly hit 100K on our balances. I already hit 100K, but I took a drawdown of 10K, and now we've made it back to 8-ish with the fees and what have you. Okay. But we are here right now with our funded accounts. And I'm looking to now withdraw all of this. Well, I can't withdraw all of it, but this one right here, the top one where there's $25,000 in there, you get everything free up until you get to $25,000. After that, it's a 90-10 split, okay? So I'm going to be waiting for that to come into play. But we've traded well for the month so far, okay? But it was a tricky day, and trading this price action, okay, it was very taxing. It was because we were at all-time highs, and you're asking yourself, is it going to do it? Is it going to play out? Is it going to do it? And could there be an instance where they just pump up, okay? And what I was looking for was in the relation to the bids and the offers, okay? So this is the NASDAQ. We pulled this up on Exo charts. Just look, I was running my shorts from this breakdown up here on the NASDAQ, okay? And just look at how the days ended. It did make the move. They made the sharp move up here, retraced back down, and they've held price. And they haven't done anything since, all right? This is what I was concerned about, because this choppy behavior right here, although it was coming down, it was very taxing, because I was like, should I close it? Should I not? Should I get in? Which is why some of the positions, let me just pull it up again, which is why some of these positions, where are you? Here we go. This is why I only made $52 on this one and only $369 on this one. I took a loss on one of my accounts here at $313 because I was sick and tired of watching S&P going up to come down, to go up aggressively to come down to the same zone it moved away from, to only move up even further. I was like, forget it. And then what I did do then was I said, you know what, that's it. Because I took the short quite close to the high, and I wasn't too concerned about these positions right here. But it was in these positions where I started really playing with the ranges and trying to add to my position. And in the end, I was just getting very frustrated with it. So today's trades, I mean, it was a bit of a not a boring day, but I know I left money on the table. I could have caught the short even higher. And if I was patient enough at the top side of this move up here, and I wasn't getting bullied off or thrown about inside with the NASDAQ, I may have been able to capitalize on it even more. But I got sick and tired of it in the end. And that happens, you know. I trade from VWAP to VWAP, from vector to vector, okay? And it just got really tricky in the end. And I thought, just forget it. I can't be bothered with it. But that's how... And understanding this relationship between the bids and the asks, okay, what I've just shown you, what do you see in Bitcoin right now on the 1 hour time frame? Please comment. What do you see? I showed you the 30-second time frame. All right, let's bring it back up again. That's the 30-second time frame on the S&P futures markets. This is Bitcoin on Binance futures market on the 1 hour time frame. What do you see? Do you see the same thing? Not exactly the same thing, but do you see the same thing? Do you see a green vector candle coming into play and not going anywhere? Do you see it recovering a previous vector? Well, of course I do. Look, there's my red vector candle right there. Well, that's the makeup for this. That's the makeup. 30-second time frame. Now, we all know it's all fractal. We get it. But what you're looking at here on the 30-second time frame is there was an instance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 150 seconds of price action. Okay, where red vector candles came into play and dropped prices lower. I see that I'm running for longs, because it's a shorter time frame and it's an imbalance that is very, very close, where there has been an aggressive amount of bids that have been hit. They are logically going to want to make a return off that sweep to the downside. And that's why you see it reverse back up. But do you see the same thing? Green vector candle comes into play and doesn't go anywhere on the 1 hour time frame. What happens next? It's rolled over. It's the same principle. Doesn't change. Now be straight with me. How many of you can see that now and it's clicking in your minds? Please tell me. Please tell me. How many of you are seeing that and clicking? Tell me if you see it. I really want to know. You want to see the car? Mighty saying yes. Okay. Do you see, right, X25, look, this is what I'm talking about. Do we see how this price action of this chart right here, and this was the before. Why did I have an understanding? See, I do this as a way to say to myself, right, I'm holding myself responsible. I have recognized that something's happening in the chart on the 30-second time frame. I've got the red vector candles marking price lower. We've already come from a big move to the upside anyway, so I'm expecting retraces, all right? See, the green vector candle come into play, it reacts and drops back down again. They do exactly the same thing right here, but lower, and it's below the moving averages, below the VWAPs. I'm only logically assuming that price is going to go to a significant point in the chart, and visibly it was the open at the start of the new daily candle. So I'm trading towards that point. I understood it that the green vectors were coming into play here on the 30-second time frame. I can only assume it's going to go down, so I took that trade. I was already in the short. And then when you look at it, how it rolls out and goes down, sweeps the liquidity lower, hits that point to a bloody T. That was my exit. Okay? Now, looking at the chart here, what do you see? You see the same thing. Green vector candle comes into play after a red vector candle came down. They marked it lower. The bids came into play. They then realized a return on their positions. Offered out. Now it's time to start finding some more bids. There you go. They come back into the vector candle recovery. Your goal, guys, is to go back in the charts and try and find these instances, because now you know what to look for. How can you train your eyes to see something that you can't see? If you can't see it in hindsight, how are you going to know what to look for? Courtesy and wisdom of Steve Mauro. Okay? If you can't see it in hindsight, you ain't seeing it in foresight. Welcome to 101 Foresight. That's exactly what this game is. You're having to predict the future. I don't even like to say the word predict. You are projecting price. You are making an assumption from one point it's going to go to another based on a number of factors, whether it's the bids, the asks, the SMAs, the EMAs, your stochastics, your divergences, and all of the fun and games, but without adding weight to understanding what these candles represent. They are representations of behavior. They're not just candlesticks. Now, you can simplify it only if you have that logic in the back of your mind, signed, sealed, delivered. But to visually just look at it, you'll say to yourself, well, how am I, this is how you know where retail goes wrong. Look. Tell me, how are you making sense of that? Can you make sense of that? No. You know why? Because what happens here, well, in my opinion, please, this is my opinion. Some of you might beg to differ with this. That's fine. The same way it's fine for me to voice my opinion about this, it's the same way you might say, yo, Tino, shut up, man. I'm killing it with my RSI. Congratulations, bro. That tells me that you're sticking to a systematic way of trading. Good. But it's the mindset that people have when they come into this game and they think, you know what? I'll just buy when it drops to 30 and sell when it goes to 70. What do you know? How easy can it be? Let's do it. Yay. It doesn't make sense. You're telling me that the most sophisticated, the hardest, easiest way to make money, you're up against algorithms, is going to be simplified by an RSI. Please, bro. Please. Just look at this chart now. Tell me, where is your edge other than visually watching the chart? Some of you might be looking at it like this. Well, if we get a break of the trend line, okay, then I go long. Okay, cool. If that works, cool. All right, then if we go again, let's take another trend line and say, if it breaks this, if it breaks amongst this trend line here, I'm going short. And you're like, oh man, yeah, baby. All it's got to do is just break that line, run a short, and look how much money I could have made. Let me go back in the chart and see if I can do it again. Go the low. Oh, yeah. Awesome. I like this trend line strategy, man. I'll keep on drawing it. Yeah. I found my strategy, bro. Found it. That's retail for you. Now, when I say, now I'm not saying don't utilize this. Some of you do use trend lines. Don't think I'm gunning for you. I'm saying take your trend lines, take your RSIs, take anything you want. But understand that behind these candlesticks are manipulative behaviors that are designed to make you think something. How did it go back down? Did it go down because it broke the trend line, or did it come back down into the position where market maker had trapped the retail trader long and he built his shorts at the highest possible range? Why did it turn from there? Why did it break this trend line right here? Well, the hybrid system says that the first red vector candle that breaks the 50 EMA is in principle where you should be running your short. Where's the first red vector candle that breaks the 50 EMA? Right there. But you're looking at it on a trend line perspective, because you could be drawing your trend line from here all the way to here, and you'll be like, yeah, baby, we go short from there. Or you could be drawing your trend line from here, going all the way to there, and hope that it actually breaks that trend line, and bang, there is, in principle, the actual red vector candle that breaks the 50 EMA, a clean one. This one did break the 50, but it came back in to recover it ever so slightly. That's why I say always wait for the retrace, and then you get the continuation to the downside. Drop, retrace, continuation. But do you see how much weight you are adding to your chart when you understand that each of these candlesticks in front of you are representing the nature of the bid and the ask? I will repeat this non-stop for anybody new that keeps on coming. I pretend that each of these live streams, you're going to have someone new coming into these live streams, and they're going to stumble upon this and think, what on earth is this guy talking about? Well, this is the hybrid system, ladies and gentlemen. It's free of charge. Download it. Go to tradersreality.com. Go to the info tab, and you can walk through the process on there and download this indicator for free. Okay? The reason it's free is because you need to practice. And this is what we do on this channel. We talk about this hybrid system, and we correlate it to Bitcoin. We correlate it to a number of assets, and there's no asset out there that it can't be correlated to. Let me just look at something. Did she do it today? No. But she did come back into the vector candle. I'm expecting them to clear that. That could mean that we're going to have an update tomorrow on NVIDIA. That's what I look at with that. Okay? Does that make sense? Are we all on the same page with this? Are we? It might be overwhelming to anyone that is passing through. It might be overwhelming. You might come into the Discord, you might become a platinum member, and you'll be asking yourself, where do I begin? Oh my days, 85 masterclass sessions. I ain't got time to sit and watch all of those. They're not to be watched all in one instance. There are strategies within the hybrid system that cater for people. If you're a scalper, you watch the session on scalping and scalping the Brinks box. Okay, it's one of the first masterclass sessions. If you like the book map, there's a whole masterclass session on that. If you like exo charts, there's a number of classes on that. There's even a cheap course on it, on how to really trade exo charts by the principle of semicircles. What? Yeah, the semicircle principle is my way of delivering an understanding of deviations away from the VWAP, because they always come back to the VWAP. No different to the gentleman crossing the road on his hands. I've got to give it to you in such a way that you can understand it, because this game is hard. It is hard. It's trying. It does put a tax on the soul. Do you know how many times? Steve just messaged me. I'm not going to talk about Steve. Do you know how many times I have had family members come up to me and they're like, hey, Tina, what are you doing? Leave me alone. Stay away from me, bruv. Not now. Well, what? It's not doing anything. You what? Well, it looks like a screensaver. It's not doing anything. Oh my God, bro. Do you not understand what I'm looking at? I'm looking for the finer details. I have to be focused. I have to be engrossed into it. All right? It doesn't go my way. No, I just want to get away from me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be straight up with all of you. I'm a recluse. Straight up. I put all my time into trading, watching. I do it all the time. Okay? I don't go out. I think that is a waste of time. The only time I go out is to either go meet up with my family, go and buy the necessities of food. Okay? But if I was to be able to, I can stay in my room and look at the screens 20 hours, no problem. No problem. I'll be in my zone. Because the way I see it is I am witnessing something that is continuously churning and churning and churning. The one guarantee I give every single one of you is you will be able to crack using the hybrid system if you practice, but know what to practice. I just gave you one just now. For those of you that are just starting with the hybrid system, might be thinking, well, Tina, I don't know what to really get into right now. I'm a platinum member. And you're putting out these setups all the time, and you're saying Bitcoin vector candle up and down. I'm just getting a little bit lost. Here is one thing you can utilize, and this is for all of you. Take a long on the first green vector candle that you see closing strongly above the 50 EMA. The criteria is important. Because if you were to just simply take it on that logic, all right? If you were to just go long on every green vector candle that you saw appearing above the 50 EMA, you'd probably get shaken out. Here is an example. Would you take this as a vector candle above the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame? Well, no, not really, because it's not above the 50 EMA. But coupled with that information, I look left, I can see a vector candle over there. I'm anticipating it's going to go to that point at some instance. I can only assume that they are getting ready to start the move to the upside. Happy days, shift out, vector recovery. Let's go and find a vector candle above the 50 EMA. Look at that. You went long on that candlestick right there. You would have made a little bit of a penny, and then it would have dropped against you. That's not a good vector candle to go long from. Not a good vector candle to go long from. Look at what I'm showing you. Not a good vector candle to go long from. Forget that it went up. When it's at that point in time, you never knew it was going to do that. So don't even run that with me. Vector candle to go long from. That's a good candle to go long from. What is the difference between the vectors that I've just pointed out to you all, okay, and this vector candle right here? Fundamentally, that is a terrible vector candle to go long from, okay, because it hasn't closed strongly above the 50 EMA, but there is consolidation. They're giving me a clue that they're likely to do that. There has to be an aggressive move lower. Platinum members of the channel, what do I always say to you at the end of these lives? Because I do setups after the New York set, after this live, okay? I'll give the guys a couple of heads up on what is likely to happen in Asia. And after I see a move to the downside, what's the one thing I'm always saying to them all? Obviously, you don't know, but some of the guys are in the chat right now. When looking for longs, what are we looking for? We're looking for the collection of green and blue vector candles. It might sound stupid saying it, guys, okay? Or I can be really technical so that people don't frown on it when I say the green and blue vectors. I can start saying when they start lifting the offers aggressively and you can see price actually moving upwards, start running longs from that point. The person who would challenge the idea of a green and blue what? What does this clown talk about? But if I said the bids and the offers, he'd be like, what do you mean, bro? Like, can you tell me what do you mean by lifting the offers? The vector candles are a representation of the bids and the offers. Where's market maker loading his position? If you are thinking, what is market maker trying to make the retail trader think, then you're going to be having the edge against the market maker. Maybe not so much against him, but you're going to be able to ride on the back of him and say, you know what? I'm jumping on this with you, bro. You ain't going with me. I'm coming with you, my guy. Sorry. I'll be following you, my friend. I'm a little bit behind you. I ain't going to know when you're going to trip up and fall like this, okay? But I can bet that when I'm seeing you marking price up with these big green vector candles, I know at some instance you're going to want to come back to that point, so I better take some profit. When you look at the chart, ladies and gentlemen, always ask yourself that question. What are you trying to make me think? Should I go long on Bitcoin? Yeah. Then you're crying, why is Bitcoin doing what it's doing? Why is it coming down? Sorry. That was a little bit too much. Any questions? Yes, Helen, yes. Platinum membership. Yep, it's 20% off. Yep, thank you. No preaching here, ladies and gentlemen. No preaching. It's not a preach. It's not a preach. All right? Listen, people have made cheese off this system. I'm talking, these guys have made not cake, okay? Not cheese. Look, they've just made money, all right? And you go into the earlier live streams, like the OG days, when you're seeing guys like super chatting, yo, T, I just made 40 racks off that vector candle. And I'm like, yeah, show me, bro. And he sends me the screenshot of his position. I'm just there like, They get it. You get it. I know you get it. And there is this urgency for someone that is new to the hybrid system is going to come in and be like, yo, I want to know. I want to do this. Practice. That's what this hybrid system is all about. The green vector candle, all right, that strategy, there has to be a move to the downside and there has to be red vector candles to the left of the chart to justify why the green vector candle appearing above the 50 EMA is going to start the process to start moving price to the left again or move it back into the vector candles. Now let's just take it on a more of a professional approach. As the bids had been aggressively hit to the downside, there appeared to be some element of exhaustion, stopping volume candle, absorption. We're anticipating that the offers are going to start coming into play where they're going to want to make a return on their bids. We're going to anticipate aggressive buyers to come into play at the fear that they're missing out after price had been going to the downside because of the passive buyers. We could talk like that. Or we just say anticipate the green vector candle to match up with the red vector candle. Go back in the charts and try and find that instance. Go back and find this. Tell me if you can't see it. If you don't see it, the system's done. Back into vectors. Back into vectors. Back into the vector. Red vector candle, back into the vector, straight back into it. Green vector candle, stop in volume candle, sweep lower. Chow, chow, vector recovery. Next, red vector candle, straight away. What about these green vector candles? Have they come back into those points yet? Well, they nearly tried to come back into them. But this green vector candle down here is at 57,000. We're not near 57,000 yet, so we ain't going to be worried about that just yet. But price will be going towards that point at some instance. Only look at the vectors that are close by. Because you will be that person that said, yeah, but it didn't recover that vector, bro. I ain't got time for you with that. I have not got time for that. Not interested in that kind of person that will always want to try and prove that something is not right. Because is it too good to be true? No, it's not too good to be true, ladies and gentlemen. This requires practice. It requires determination. It requires patience. It requires you to find something about it and stick on it. Think objectively, systematically. That's what this system is all about. Look, trading is rough. It is a rough business. And people want it overnight. Nah, man. Now, I spent too many nights just buying my J's on myself, by myself, okay? Just playing this game, you know? Am I sick of trading? Of course I am. Of course I am. And what's even worse is when you're looking at it and you're like, nah. That's how most of my trading days go. I'm looking like, are you really going to that vector candle? All right, cool, we'll play the game. All right, I'll place a bet. Okay. Nah, man, you went to it. Nah. Are you going back to that vector candle? Nah. Surely not, bro. Surely it's not that. Goes back to it. I play that game of being surprised so that I can train my mind to be like, okay, I'm starting to see a repetition in this thing right now. I start to understand certain behaviors. And so I'm obsessed with it. I am. Some might call me addicted to trading. Well, I'm not addicted to it. I used to hate the weekends because the markets were closed. And you guys may have heard me say that. Now I cannot wait for them to close. I can't wait for the markets to close. Can't wait. Because that's why I've got a mentality right now in my trading where I just want to get in, make a bit of cash, and get out. Too many times I've made money in the day and then I've given it all back. And I've repeated that process so many times. I'm done with it. I'm not interested in it. I believe I know myself now to a certain degree where I know when to say stop and know when to continue. Okay? If I meet a target of trading well, or I witness the chart not really behaving the way I want it to behave, okay, I'm starting to sense there's something changing in the market, I'm going to get out whether my position is done or not. I'm not married to the charts, but I'm always bloody looking at them. It's like looking at that continuous sunset all the bloody time. In the end, you get bored of that same sunset. So I might change my background on my chart. But yeah, that's truth, ladies and gentlemen. Because I'm looking at these charts every day. Every day. I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm already at the charts looking. From 8 o'clock in the morning straight through until I'm doing lives with you guys, okay? Which mad love and respect to every single one of you passing through to the lives, watching and showing love every single day, giving me your time to let me chew your ears off. Mad love to you all, and to all the new people passing through who are liking, subscribing, hitting the ding-a-ling. But I'm watching this all the time, and I'm grateful that I can watch this all the time. But what you get from these live streams is I give you things that you can just focus on, even if you do have a small window of time. And those of you who only have a small window of time, you are at a greater advantage to the person that's got the time to sit and watch it all the time. If you don't understand that you are ahead of them, then you'll understand that this game is about finding something that repeats and go with it. At certain times, if you see it appearing, then it's going to appear again. Happy days. Play it. Okay? Because if a person has only got 2 hours to scalp, 2 hours to scalp in the morning, all right? Bro, Jason, listen, what's going on here, bro? Your super chat made me choke. My super chat to you broke your treadmill. What I'm trying to say to you is the person that has a small window to trade is going to be focused on something specific. If he doesn't see it within those 2 hours, he's done for the day. Get the hell away from the charts. He ain't going to be there hoping that it's going to happen. He's going to look at one chart, look at another chart. He's going to look at something else. He's going to go elsewhere. He's going to go on Discord. He's going to ask his best mate, yo, bro, man, what do you think about Bitcoin, that green vector candlelight? Do you think it's going to happen? Yeah, let's just wait for it. Forget that, man. No. The person that has a limited amount of time is the one that has the most choice. Because he can focus on one aspect of the hybrid system. He can study it. He can wait for a certain time for it to come into play. If it does come into play, happy days, he takes the trade, he makes a bit of money, closes off his charts, walks away and comes back again the next day at the same time to see if the same thing is happening again. But the person sat watching the charts all the time is going to be regurgitating strategy after strategy after strategy in hope that any time he sees a vector candle or he sees something happening in the charts, he's going to hope that he's going to be able to profit from it. Don't make that mistake. Find something in the hybrid system that works for you. Stick with it. Test it. Sample size. You've got to put a sample size. Don't come to me and say to me, Tino, I took 10 trades with the hybrid system and I don't think it's for me. 10 trades, bro. 10 trades on the hybrid system. Yeah, I'm a scalper, bro. Shut up. Please. 10 trades. I'm averaging around 125, 150 trades a day when I'm trading. That's a small sample size. Do that every single day. Do 150 trade scalping sample size when you're testing a system. Come to the end of it, because if you make it to the end of that sample size and you've broken even, you've got an edge. You've got an edge. Because too many people are begging to break even in this game. Because break even means that you're understanding something. Now you just need to dive into it a little bit more. You can lose. You probably can lose a lot of money. And you'll be at the end of that. If you can't even finish the sample size of 150 trades, you've already understood where you're going wrong. Risk. If you can't even finish 150 scalps because you're using too much size and you blow your account in 10 trades, yeah, bro, it's done. It's absolutely done. You know? I think I'm back to the noob era after today's stream. Gonna watch the stream multiple times, but really love the passion for trade. Hey man, listen, there's no noobs. No, and listen, anyone in the Discord, all right? There's no such thing as asking a noob question, all right? How can you say it's a stupid question or a noob question? You're here to learn something new. I can't expect you, and forgive me if I talk a bit too technical in these live streams. Mike tells me all the time, yo man, try and dampen it down a little bit. Make it a little bit easier for people. I understand what you're saying because I've been listening to you chew my bloody ear off for the past 3-4 years, you know? And if I still don't understand it, then there's a problem with me. If I'm not delivering the information clear and cut, that's a problem with me, not you. You know? And that's what this is about. That's what I've got to find a way to make this system so simple, but do not take it for granted, the simplicity of it. I'm taking my experience of studying this thing. I've put a lot of time into this. I've gone back to charts from 1970 and ran a back test and went with it. 1 minute time frame. Then I went on to the 5-minute time frame, back test from 1970 all the way through to 2004, 2005 at the time. No, 2010? Yeah, 2010, 11? At that time. What a back test. That was Netflix for me. I ain't go out with women, bro. I wasn't interested going out, getting pissed and all that. This was sex for me. Excuse me. That's the truth, man. This was it. But that's me. That's me. That's the truth. You know? Okay. Tino needs to be on CNBC. No. Why would you want to just break even using the system? Because it means that you can then work on yourself. You're understanding when to execute the system. All right? Do you know the goal for a poker player is to get to break even as often as they can? Let me give you an example. I used to do $4 180 max turbo tournaments. That means it cost me $4 and I would play against 180 people. And they were always churning over. I would have 24 games in front of me. I used to have that. Table Ninja. Those who know. And I used to just play push-fold strategy. $4 180 max. All right? And I would keep on playing these games. I was never interested in what money was being made on each table. I would look at what my rate of return was. What was my ROI per game? And if my ROI was in anywhere up between 30 cents or 40 cents or 50 cents, that meant that even though after a few hours of playing poker, right? If I was at break even, I knew that if I kept on playing, I would surpass the break even because I'm averaging an ROI of around 25, 30 cents. So that means after 1,000 games, earning 25 cents on average each game, well, you do the math. 10,000 games and you're playing 25 at a time. Push, fold, push, fold, push, fold. That's why you want to get to a point of break even on a trading system, because then you understand how something operates. Because if you're losing outright flat, then it's not just the fact that you're not using the system correctly, it's you. You're not using the right risk. You might be wrong. But if you're breaking even, that's the biggest stepping stone for anyone in trading, to break even. Because you understand something to make back the money that you lost. It's a big thing. Okay, then. Right. Any other questions? I know you guys are asking questions here. Mad love to you, my bro. Colorful candles. Tino, you're a slave to the charts, but at least you have financial freedom. Trading is life. I understand what you mean. BlackRock has kicked off with the RWA narrative. Do you have any favorite RWA coins? Can we check Dusk? Check Dusk. Let's just quickly check Dusk. Dusk Network. Nice little pump. If you're watching these live streams, right? How many times do we look at a coin like this? It's made a move up. We come back to it. Or if you were monitoring it, it comes all the way back down again. It's always the bloody case, isn't it? Oh, repetition, is it? Okay, then. So, what did it all start off with? A move to the downside. First green vector candle above the 50 EMA. Well, what do you know? It's a random coin. It's moved up way more than what Bitcoin has done today. There's your volatility. Repetition. Move down. Red vector candle to the side. Yep. Red vector candle over here. Yep. Okay, I'll take that. That's how simple you can make it. You start messing it up by putting too much size, because if it does do the green vector candle, pumps up, comes all the way back down again, sweeps the lows before it does decide to go higher, well, your risk needs to factor that in. Tina, can you show us which indicators you use? These are my indicators. This is what I use. And when it comes to indicators, this is not even an indicator. It just gives you a few EMAs. And at best of times, EMAs ain't really worth their while. They just give you the understanding of volatility. They tell you there's volatility in the charts. Okay? If you're going to use anything, it's considering the volume-weighted average price, the VWAP, because the VWAP tells you what kind of program is being triggered. Are they averaging to sell higher, or are they averaging to sell lower? And where can they get the best average price? Smack bang in the middle. Sell from the highest point, man. Quickly buy it back up. That's why you see bounces from the VWAP up. You know? Any other questions? What software do we need accounts? Did you back trade? This was on MT4, all right, MetaTrader, and it's not on TradingView. I did it the old school way. You know, I had to request the files to get the data back then. I never used TradingView. I only started using TradingView in 2021. I despised TradingView. So what the hell? Nah, not for me. I was too used to MT4. You know? But now it's convenient to use. It's just a wonderful thing. Still can't even put templates properly. Can't even do much for that. Like, you guys that save templates and load charts up in amazing ways, I'm like, I've got to do it individually. I've got to add this. I've got to add that. I just never seem to get the right thing. That's me. Okay, then. Anyways. Can you show us your lost trades and why you took it and why you decided to close at the loss? Think the hardest thing for traders is when to admit you are wrong in that trade. If you can't, in that sentence itself, Nick, like for example, this, where is that picture? Okay. So this trade right here that I lost, okay? This is actually, it's really wound me up, this trade. It really has wound me up, okay? Because it would have been that right there. It would have been not exactly, but it would have made about $3,000 on that account. Look at the fees that I paid on that account right there, 151. And look at the fees I paid on that account there, $39 to make $3,460. 4 trades, 11 on that account there. Very angry with that. That loss there was me being impatient. It was me witnessing that I was right on the move, and then I was like, okay, let me try and play this one and add to it. Rather than add to these accounts right here, just let the position work out in their favor, okay? Let me start loading up with this account right here. I messed about with this. I was just seeing S&P just doing its thing, going up and down, up and down. I was just scalping like 11 trades, in and out, in and out, in and out. At what point did I say I need to cut it? Because that could have actually turned very expensive for me. Because I was fighting. I really was fighting. Okay, I was saying to myself, I know I'm going to catch this. I know I'm going to get this move. I know I'm going to get it. And in the end, I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm just closing it off. And then it ended up going in. Like, I ended up being in the drawdown with it. And the rest of the accounts ended up hitting big. Got very frustrated with it. Very frustrated with it. But I have no qualms in saying to myself, I'm wrong. And if you do not know that any of you right now, okay, any of you taking a trade for Bitcoin, whether it's a long or a short, okay, if you are thinking how much money you're going to make, do not take the trade. Finished. Don't take the trade. I'm saving you so much more money. Way much more money. All right? You'll save us so much. All right? Hell, you could go and you could go treat yourself to something because you'd be losing that money. Straight up. If you don't know when to lose, you'll never know when to pay yourself. That's facts. I always say pay yourself, man. I will always say it. Get used to paying yourself. It's a nice feeling. Take money from this place. You've got more of a chance of giving money than taking. How messed up is that? So you're already at a loss before you even take the trade because you can actually lose. I think like that. I know I can lose in a trade. I know that. I'm cool with it. What price would I have to lose at? Well, if I improve the odds of me going long at a specific point, then I'm going to say to myself, okay, if I take a long on Bitcoin, okay, hypothetically, say I took a long on Bitcoin, okay, say you went long from Bitcoin here, okay, hypothetically, you took a long there, all right, you put your stop, and I said this earlier on, you put your stop here. You might think, I'm exercising good risk management right there, sir. You know, I'm keeping it very tight. I want that perfect entry. That is laughable. Laughable. That tells me you don't understand your asset. And people that boast, look at these entries, man. Look at these tight stops that I've got. Sorry, bruv. You know, swing traders need roughly around $500,000 to swing trade successfully. That's what the word on the street is. If you are living off $500,000 or a trading account that has $500,000 in, and it's your bread and butter and your livelihood is all on that account, you need $500,000 to trade comfortably. And as a swing trader, you need to have the ability to absorb a drawdown, okay? So when you got swing traders that are placing swings, like going long from areas like this, and they're catching the move, like that kind of can be a little bit difficult to do, especially on higher time frames, because there's so much information for you to pick up on. Look at that green vector candle. If you took a long from this area here, look at how that green vector candle swept the liquidity lower and came back in. You would have been cheesed off if you were in a long and you set your stop to that equivalent distance. So, Tino, where would you put your stop? What does the market maker want the retail trader to think? So then that means I have to look in the chart and think where the market maker had recently made the retail trader think of something and did the opposite. Your stop in principle should be down here. Completely away from the range of manipulation. Completely. And if you can't put a stop away like that, you're using too much leverage. That's the fact. If you can't place a trade and go to bed at night and not even care about what's going on with the position, that means you're using too much. See it all the time. See so many people saying, oh man, I don't think I can go to bed tonight. Don't do that. I've done it too many times. I've stared at charts for 48 hours. What an absolute joke. To only break even. To only witness it do exactly what I wanted it to do. So I sat up for 48 hours for no reason. Oh, what the No. Not anymore. Not anymore. Sensei Tino, love the channel. The entertainment is good, but you need a Pikachu hat on a treadmill while rapping should help. Do you know what, Mark? I think that could be something we do. No, maybe not. Tino, do you ever add margin to a losing trade? I'm not in trades long enough. Unless I'm swing trading Ethereum, then I'll do the 420 method and just load up into it using profit from the trade. But I'll never add margin to a losing trade unless I'm building positions. So here's a losing trade, all right? For example, say you go long from this point right here, okay? You went long from there. I'm going to give you this and then I'm going to let you guys go, man. Sorry. You go long from this point right here and price is all the way down here. What are you going to do? Add to your trade from here. It's all about the size. Because if you put your full position up here and then you start having to add, that means add more money to this position. And that means all of your margin has been taken on this position and you now have to deposit more because you think you're going to catch the reversal from this point. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. If you're in a losing position, you have to be accepting of it, which is in line with your strategy. If I'm building positions, I'm already going to be at a loss anyway because I'm building as prices are going down. I'm favoring a move to the upside. So looking at this whole structure right here, where's your 420 method? 20% here, 20% here, 40% here, 20% here. Ride the logic of it going back up. Take my 40% as it comes up higher, bank that. Profit on the 20, close it here. Profit on this point or break even, close it here. Done. That's when I'm loading up into margin. When I'm purposely building positions that are already putting me in a loss automatically because I'm building alongside the market maker. I hope that answers your question. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bid you well. Remember, 20% discount off the Platinum membership. We are coming close towards the end of the month. 10 more days, and then we'll be finishing that promotion. Just use the code BULLRUN in the checkout, and you get 20% off your first month. But I hope tonight has actually helped in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to go to bed. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves, gang. Peace. Oh, yeah, subscribe, like, ding-a-ling. Here's some music.